Well, good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where we're going to be doing another slow cooker recipe today. Now, this meal is Salisbury steak. Now, if you have never heard that term before, you might think that we're going to be cooking a steak. Well, surprise, surprise. Salisbury steak is not steak as most of us look at it. It is made from ground beef, from hamburger. And it is, you might think of it sort of as a cross between a hamburger and meatloaf, because we add in an egg and some breadcrumbs and some spices and that sort of thing. And then with those hamburger patties, or the meat patties with all of their ingredients, we're going to put them in the frying pan and just brown them a little bit on both sides. Then we're going to move the hamburgers to a plate and put in the onions and the mushrooms, and then we're going to add the makings of gravy over the top of that, and then we're just going to let it sit in the slow cooker for about 4 hours on low. Now, what this does is that it really allows the flavors from the gravy and that are already mixed in with the meat to really mingle and develop thoroughly. And it is just very delicious. So Salisbury steak is generally served with or over mashed potatoes, which is what we are going to do today, and then with a brown gravy that contains onions and mushrooms. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So I have the recipe linked for you down under the video. You might want to go there and print it out first, and so that you can follow it. So I have in the bowl 1.5 pounds of ground beef, 1 egg, and I'm just going to kind of mix that egg right there. This is panko crumbs, and of course some parsley. So I'm going to get in there with my hands. I just barely washed my hands. I'm going to take my ring off. Okay. Now, as I mix, I'm going to also add in the salt and the pepper, the paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, according to the recipe. Okay, so we have everything in here now and mixing it together. Now, this will make 4 patties, or 4 steaks, I should say, and that will be enough for 2 meals for Jim and me. So when we're all finished, I can either package up the 2 remaining steaks along with gravy and put it out in the freezer and save it for later, or I can just store it in the refrigerator for use next week. It'll keep for about a week in the fridge. Okay, so this is nicely mixed. I'm going to turn my heat on. I'll wash my hands. All right, while our pan heats up, I'm going to go ahead and form this. And the countertop is clean. It was I just barely put stearamine on it, so it has been sanitized. So I'm going to pull these out on the counter, this meat, and kind of divide it into 4 equal portions, as equal as I can sort of guess. Probably will do. And so that they don't look like hamburgers, I'm going to make them oblong. You can make them any way that you want. All right, in the pan they go. I'm going to cook them for about 3 minutes on each side, and then we will be back when they are out on the plate, and I'll show you what happens next. I'm putting the onions and the mushrooms in now. And I do have half the parsley left here. It's going to go into the gravy at the very end. So we're just going to cook these for a couple minutes, and we'll be back. All right, so you can see how beautiful these are. The mushrooms and onions are just slightly browned. I'm going to turn them off. The slow cooker, it has warmed, it's on low. So I'm just going to dump these right in. And I'm going to spread them out on the bottom. And then we are going to lift the patties right onto the top. I'll tell you, everything smells wonderful, doesn't it, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. The next step, I have the beef broth right here, a cup and a half of beef broth. To that, I am going to add the, let me see, the ketchup, the Worcestershire sauce, and the Dijon mustard. And we're just going to whisk that. Oh, my mouth, I must be hungry. My mouth is really watering. And I'm just now going to pour that over the meat and the onions and mushrooms. And there we are. And we leave it alone for 4 hours. So I will see you then. Well, it has been 4 hours, so come take a look at what these look like. I haven't stirred them, I haven't touched them.
That looks good.
I think they look marvelous.
Yes.
So I'm going to lift out the steaks. I've just turned the slow cooker up to high. And I have here a mixture of 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch and 1.5 tablespoons of water, which I'm going to put in. And we'll mix this in, and as it heats up just a little bit, it will thicken, and we will have our gravy ready. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell what we've been smelling all day. It has been fantastic. All right, we're going to bring that to a boil and we'll be back. Look at this, it's gravy. Woohoo! Okay, now I've decided that I'm going to put one of these meals into one of our foil pans for freezing. I'll get kind of a big one and a smaller one. And then about half the gravy. Oh, this just looks so yummy.
Okay, I can't see it.
I'll show you in a minute. So, hot, hot, hot. That's what it looks like. Salisbury steak. We will freeze this as one of our freezer meals as soon as it cools. But right now, we're going to have, it's still several hours before our dinner time, but I'm going to take just a little taste of what it's going to taste like at supper time by getting a bit of the gravy right here and taking just a little bite with the meat and the gravy. Jim, you're going to love it. It is wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Sounds nice.
It is, it's great. So what I plan to do when I serve this evening is to get some mashed potatoes, make some mashed potatoes and a green salad. And so we will have the mashed potatoes and serve the meat with the gravy over both the meat and the mashed potatoes, and then have a green chopped salad on the side. So can't wait for dinner. Oh, this is so yummy.
That's great.
Yeah, this turned out just fantastic. And this will be a great frozen meal for us down the road a ways. So I hope you try this recipe. It is really wonderful. If you like Salisbury steak, or if you've never ever tried it before, this is a great recipe to try for your very first time. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you very soon for more videos.